and my answer will be yes, Lord, yes, I'll say yes.
Well, Lizzie, I am so excited to chat with you today, girl. I have been following you and listening to your music and your worship for quite some time, so I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Thank you for having me. For real, I'm excited.
So 2017, you were actually a backup singer for Lauren Daigle?
So crazy.
How did that even happen?
I remember the year before I started working for Lauren, the Lord had spoke to me to start singing background for anyone in Nashville that asked for free. Just serve whoever asked. And so I did that for a year. I just remember like talking to the Lord and being like, all right, God, please open up a door. Like, I feel like I've been really faithful. Can you just open up that next season for me? And I got a text from one of the girls that I had been singing background for free the last year. And she said, hey, they reached out to me to do auditions for Lauren Daigle as a background singer. Do you care if I pitch you for it? I think you'd be good. Wow. And so I thought it was like a 2-week tour was what they told us it was gonna be. And we went, did the audition, and 2 weeks turned into 4 years with Lauren.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Well, you've also been on tour and sang with Maverick City.
Yeah.
Like, how did you get connected to Mav?
So I started writing with Mav, like going to the camps while I was still on tour with Lauren. And I'd really never written before. So you show up to this big house and there's like 100 writers there and you get thrown into a room. That's
my
early day Mavs. Yes.
Okay.
It was just such a crazy season how they did that. But just started writing, trying to learn how to write. Because you would be writing with people like Brandon Lake, who were top-notch writers, and people like me in a room who had never written a song before. And so it was another one of those things where God just kind of threw me in it. And the writing began, I mean, it grew into obviously touring with them. And it was just another season where I feel like the Lord was preparing me for what I'm doing now.
So you are with Red Worship.
Yeah.
And that's at Redemption Church in California.
San Jose, California.
You go from California to Tennessee. Like, talk about all that God's doing right now in this season.
I got a call from Pastor Ron Carpenter, who's in San Jose, California. And he told me he was looking for a worship leader. And I love Nashville and love my grandparents' church so much that I couldn't picture just packing my bags and moving. So I remember just being on the phone with him and saying, I can do 2 Sundays a month.
Yeah.
And I remember hanging up being like, he's never gonna do that. What pastor would ever agree to that? But he did. And so I've been doing that for, I wanna say 4 years now. And it's been very cool for God to send me somewhere where it's a very unchurched area. And so to be able to lead in an environment like that has stretched me so much. And just serving there, that's where Red Worship came about, which has been just another God thing. I love it.
How do you practically prepare to lead worship? Because I'm sure it's taxing. Like because let me tell you something, girl. When I've watched you, like, you worship with your whole being. Like, from the tip of your toes. Like, girl, you are giving it everything. Like, how do you practically prepare to lead worship? But then also, like, spiritually and emotionally.
Yeah, I think spiritually, I used to think that I had to, like, spend 3 hours in a prayer closet and beg the Lord to show up. And that's just how I grew up feeling that way. But I've learned that if I just invite him into every day, all day.
Jesus, at your feet we fall. Let the alabaster break. You are worthy of it all.
We got to talk about Let the Alabaster Break, girl. We got to talk about it. Okay, so that is, I guess, talk about how did that, was it a spontaneous moment? Was it planned?
So Jason Ingram produced the record, and he was kind of helping me find songs and piece it all together. So I went into the studio and sang the song. And I remember as soon as we finished it, looking at him and being like, oh yeah, this feels like it was written for me. This feels like kind of a gift. But then the way we did the record is we kind of had 2 days with just the band to go through songs, and then we recorded it. I just remember like kind of looking at them like, am I gonna get in trouble for this? But I started just singing Alabaster Box on the end.
Yeah.
And it was really intimidating because it's CeCe Winans' song. But I think that night, what happened was I started singing, "You weren't there the night he found me. You did not feel what I felt when he wrapped his love all around me." That is when we started looping, "You don't know the cost of the oil. You don't know the cost of the oil." And the oil is what's valuable and it's what's worship. But the cost, and for me, is it took so much to get to a place to be able to pour it all out his feet. It's been really cool to see people put their testimonies with that moment because it is just true. There is a cost to the oil. There's a cost to anointing. And I think that people have resonated with that because they've been able to say, this is what I've been through. The Lord carried me, and now I want to give him everything. And so I do think like just having family in the room that night and friends and people who have journeyed things with me was part of what made that moment so special.
So let the alabaster break. Let it break.
Okay, tell me about the new album.
Not My Will, which is just, it's my first solo record, and it was such a journey, getting to this record. It really is a record full of testimonies, the same way that I want everyone to feel seen generationally, culturally. My prayer is that if they listen to all of the songs, that there's at least one story or one lyric where they're like, I relate to that. And I really, really tried to be as vulnerable and real as possible with this record. We didn't name it until after it was done, and we were trying to figure out what to name it, and I just remember Not My Will really sticking with me. And I hated it at first because it felt cliche, because it's something that we all say, not my will, but yours be done. But when I look at the last few months of my life, I've really had to learn what it means to actually walk that out.
Not my will, but yours be done. I know your way is better. Not
My prayer is that I hope people see that leaning into his promise and his will for your life will never fail you. It might feel like you're losing for just a split second when you say no to certain things, but that his promise really is better than what you could ever imagine.